Good morning, New York Mets Nation, and welcome to the Bat Cave. I'm your host, the Bat Fry. Weep, weep. That's a bat, if you know that. I'm the Bat Fry, Kenny Frie. Starting off a little goofy here. I hope everybody's doing well. I am doing just fine. Got a comment here already. Our boy, Adam Glenn. What's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? Adam Glenn, check it in the house. He's just sitting there waiting for me to go live so he can shoot that comment. Appreciate it, Adam. You are the man. Like I said, I hope everybody's doing well out there. Great win last night for the Mets. Well, I shouldn't say great. Good win for the Mets. You know, it's over the Washington Nationals. The battle for the basement. 11-5. A lot of nice things though. You know, Quintana again, great outing. Alonso 42nd home run. Lindor a home run. Nimmo home run. Alvarez finally getting another home run. So it's a lot of positives coming out of the game. Like I said, well out of the playoff race, 7.5 out of the wild card. So there's no reason to, make a big deal out of it. But it's nice to see, it's nice to get a win or whatever, every now and again, a blowout win and the offense look alive and the pitching look well. And, the bullpen sucking ass still, but it is what it is. Couple more comments here. Adam says it's football season. Yeah, you're right, Adam. It is football season now. As a Mets fan, you kind of move over, you transition over to I got the Raiders behind me here, so move on to your team. Football season. Excited for football season. It's like anybody that's a sports fan, you're excited for your team's season to start because you have all that hope and this year's our year kind of talk, and then all of a sudden you get kicked in the dick and that's it. It's done. After a couple of weeks, sometimes, for me anyway, for the Raiders, it's been like that since 2003, 2004 season. So it's been rough, but it is what it is. It's been a long time since we've been relevant. Had an occasional blips, glitches here or there, but it's time past due. Jung-Hoo Lee, hey, thanks for checking out the show, buddy. Much appreciated. 5 home runs for the Mets, a power surge. Yeah, absolutely. 5 home runs. Big home runs, too. Some of them were just freaking bombs. Alvarez's, Alonso's home run, absolute bombs. Lindor had a nice home run. Like I said, Nimmo. Who else had a home run? Is that all of them? Nimmo, Alvarez, Alonso, Lindor. Am I missing one? I can't remember. I think you have 5. I can't remember who the other one is. Vientos had a triple. Yeah, he's been playing much better lately. I know I don't know if it was the Mets broadcast. I was watching a little bit of the Mets game before I had a run out of the house, and then I was listening to the Washington broadcast on Sirius XM. So I'm not sure which announced team mentioned it, but they said since Ronnie Mauricio has been called up, they said Mark Vientos has been playing much better. I mean, it might have been on the Twitter box. I don't know, or the X box. I can't call it the X box. That doesn't. But anyway, but yeah, I did miss. I wasn't able to watch some of the game, but I listened to almost. I either seen or listened to most of the game yesterday. Cowboy Dave in the house. What's going on, buddy? My partner in crime, my PIC, Cowboy Dave on Friday nights, 10:30 p.m. The Atomic Drop podcast for all you WWE wrestling fans. Check us out, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday nights. Talking all WWE wrestling and having a lot of fun with it so far. We've been doing it for a couple months now, and it's been a blast so far each and every Friday. Great stuff. Cowboy Dave. You can also check Dave out on Tuesdays last night with Joe Sullivan on the Extra Innings podcast, talking Major League Baseball, all Major League Baseball. They do a really good job with that, covering everybody, talking all divisions, all teams. It's tough to do. It's especially when you hit like the Athletics or the Royals or the Mets. But even the Mets have some star power. But like when you're trying to talk about like the Athletics and the Royals and the Nationals, it gets kind of rough because there's not like any you don't have any of those really big names to really kind of focus around or anything like that. So you guys do a hell of a job with that. And Dave's also on tonight with Dem 215 boys talking Dallas Cowboys football with our boy Paul Spencer and that the TOP, the Tower of Patience, Big Matt there. And talking Cowboys football tonight. And speaking of Paul Spencer, I want to give Paul a shout out real quick. Just recently went under, just had some medical procedure done. I'm not going to go into it too much. But yeah, a speedy recovery to Paul. Hopefully he gets back on here soon. Take your time, Paul. I know your health is what's most important. And I'm sure all of your millions and millions of fans here will patiently be waiting for you to return. So get well soon, buddy, and take care of yourself. Eileen says, morning. Good morning, Eileen. Great to see Eileen again checking in. She does every show that the out of the box has. All of my shows as well. I love seeing Eileen. She does a great job helping me out. She's like a backstage, one of my backstage personnel people or something. It's like if I can't remember something, she's fact checking it for me, or she's pulling stuff up real quick. I don't know how she does it. I don't know if it's all up in her head, or she's just quick on the old keyboard or something. But she comes up with a lot of the answers really fast and does a hell of a job. I love it. Jung Hoo Lee, Nimmo had two. I didn't know Nimmo had two. I know I seen one. Maybe I missed one when I was going from house to truck to pick up my daughter. I don't know. Adam Glenn said the Nationals are playing their minor league players like our boy Travis. Yeah, speaking of our boy Travis, I want to give a shout out to Travis Blankenhorn. If you're a Mets fan, maybe you recognize the name. Maybe you don't recognize the name. He played the last couple seasons in the Mets AAA on the Mets AAA team, Syracuse, and he got his first major league home run with the Mets. I think it was 2 seasons ago. And last year he only got I think it was 3 or 4 at bats in one game. Then they released him or DFA'd him, whatever it was, and I think it was DFA'd if I remember correctly. Then he was picked back up by the Mets. Finished the season in AAA, and then was a free agent, and he signed on with the Washington Nationals. What makes Travis especially important to us, to myself, Adam Glenn, is he's a hometown boy. He's from my alma mater. Adam Glenn, we went to the same school around the same time. So Travis is many years later. Adam Glenn and I are old men, and but Travis, so we're always rooting for Travis no matter what team he's playing for, as long as it's not the jerk off Braves. And, so it's great to see Travis getting some playing time. I know he had a home run a couple days ago, and it seems like he's hitting the ball really hard. He has a different approach at the plate than he did with the Mets. It seemed like, again, limited time with the Mets, up in the big leagues here. But when he was up, it seemed like he struggled a little bit. I was really hoping, like, it would have been great to have Travis on the team this season so you get more of a shot than it was last season, where the Mets were – for the most part, a really, really good team. So it's harder for a minor leaguer to kind of break through and get a lot of playing time to kind of show what what he can do or what he's worth. So it's good that he actually caught on with the team that sucks. So he can get out there, get on the field, and show what he can do, which is fantastic. He's been hitting the ball very hard, playing well. So shout out to Travis. I hope he continues his success. I've reached out to him a couple different times to to try to get him on the podcast. I reached out to him through the old Instagram. I even had some people I work with try to contact his dad, see if he'd be interested. And his dad was kind of like, well, that's kind of weird. Travis isn't even with the Mets anymore. It's a Mets podcast. I don't know. And like, it's not really about that, but whatever. So it's not a big deal. But yeah, good luck to Travis. Hopefully, he continues, cracking the ball, putting it in play, and, they'll start dropping for him. So that's good. Adam Gled says she's late. That he's talking about Eileen there. Eileen is late. And there's our boy. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. I was just mentioning Joe Sullivan and Dave Yarnell's Extra Innings podcast. You can also check Joe out on Mondays with the Sully Squad and occasionally on the NFC East War Room show that we have going here on Thursday nights. So Joe, great job on Extra Innings last night. I was able to catch some of it. It's not easy. Like I said, when you have to talk about, well, you don't have to talk about it. When you come up to teams like the Athletics, the Royals, the Nationals, where, they stink and there's like no star power to really kind of talk about. There's no positives to spin on it. It's all negative. But the Nationals have played much better than I thought they would have, even though they are in last place in the NL East. They've actually played some decent ball at points this year. So, you got to give credit where credit's due with that. They're not a total, shit show. I'm trying to think of a better term, but I can't. It's hard, but they haven't been all terrible, just mostly terrible, just like the Mets. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The Mets have been bad, and it is what it is. Dave Yarnell says, "Let me talk to you." Yeah, L.A. Knight. Dave's boy there. I'm actually becoming a bit of an L.A. Knight guy as well. At first, I'm like, it wasn't my kind of thing. I've mentioned that he's kind of like a hand-me-down Stone Cold and Rock, which is nothing wrong with that. It's mimicking or modeling yourself after former superstars or whatever, that I'm 100% for that. There's not too many superstars in the world of professional wrestling that haven't taken part of their gimmick from somebody else from the past. So it's not a big deal. It's nice to kind of have that throwback a little bit with LA Knight, back to the Attitude Era. But anyway, back to the Mets, the Metropolitans. That's what we're here to talk about. Like I said again last night, nice power surge. Quintana, very good game. 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run, and that earned run came in the first inning. And that's one thing where the Mets really struggle this season has been first inning run differential. I don't know what they said. I think it was on the SNY broadcast last night. They were talking about the run differential in the first inning. I think they said the Mets are like a -62 or -64 or something like that, which is, absolutely insane. And there's so many games that it just came up where, right away, if you turn the game on late, they're already down 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. It's just, they wouldn't score a run or get a hit till the 4th or 5th inning. And it's like, Jesus Christ, by that time they're down 7-0 and that's it. Ball game, pitcher's out, McGill's out, Cookie Carrasco's out. Peterson out, it's, to the garbage that is our bullpen. And, it was kind of nice to see, you don't get too many games where the Mets are actually, they actually win the first inning where they did, they had 4 runs to Washington's 1. So they were able to come out of the gate hot and continue to carry through the game. So that was good. That was nice to see. Let me get to my notes so I don't lose my place, because that's what happens. Adam Glenn says, yeah. I can't do it. Dave Yarnell says, so we can talk about Sully's favorite division, the American League Central. The American League Central is so mediocre, so mid. It's when I do my power rankings, I'll talk about them a little bit. but the Twins have they pulled away, and they're like as mid could be for a division leader. I mean, if you look at it, they would probably be. Let me think of their record right now. Let me take a quick peek here. 73. They would be 4 games out of the final. No, 5 games out of the final wild card spot, and they're leading the division by 7 games in the Central. That's how bad the Central is. The AL Central. It's insane. It really is. The Guardians were a playoff team last year. I remember the run to. I mean, then of course the AL Central was also mid last year. It wasn't a very good division, but it had a really nice race there at the end, where I think the last month and a half or 2 months you had the White Sox, the Twins, and the Guardians or the Indians. At least all kind of neck and neck until the White Sox kind of fell back to the pack. And then it was the Guardians and Twins until like the last half a month maybe. And I think I'm pretty sure the Guardians were able to pull away. I don't remember what the how many games they won the division by, but it was neck and neck for the better part of the last 2 or 3 months of the season between those 3 teams, and finally the last half a month to a month between the Twins and the Guardians before the Guardians pulled it out. And I thought the Guardians would have stayed at the top of the Central, maybe even taken a step forward, but they clearly took a step back. I know they had a huge problem with their offense last season. They great pitching, but the offense just wasn't there. And I'm not really 100% sure if it's the same way this year or not with the Guardians. Again, I don't follow. I follow baseball, but I don't watch. I don't follow it that closely. All those other teams, I kind of Mets and that division, I try to pay attention to and focus on that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Indians their hitting has let them down again this year. The pitching has done well. If I'm correct with that, if I've had my ears open. So last night, Pete Alonso hit his 42nd home run. It was an absolute bomb. I don't remember the name of the reliever that he faced, but that was the only run that reliever gave up in 3 innings. But I mean, it was an absolute, housed. And then, of course, the next batter up was Vientos, and he got hit by a pitch. But it wasn't intentional. Kind of, I don't want to say leaned into it, but it's kind of like a half, like checks, like it's one of those deals. It happens. But now Pete, he's been really streaky this season, especially with his home runs. I mean, started off pretty hot with the home runs, and then of course I think it was June where it was like nothing. I was just looking at the stats a couple hours ago and looking at his June and July power numbers. It was very, very, very scarce. And before he started kind of heating up a little bit, I think it was at the end of July. He started hitting home runs in bunches again, or maybe it was early August. And then he kind of lulled a little bit again, but then now he's starting to hit home runs in bunches again. So it's good to see Pete crushing the ball, hitting 225. So the average is slowly climbing up. If you look at Pete's career, which is not a whole lot not a big sample size, but I've mentioned this so many different times. But I looked at it again to make sure I was right on this analysis. But Pete, he's been a fairly decent hitter, hitting anywhere from like 260 to 270, minus the COVID season. He's hit 270, 261, I think 270, and then now this season, is in the crapper with his average anyway. That's not going to go much above 225. If he hits 230, I'll be surprised, to be honest with you. But that doesn't seem like be like a typical Pete Alonso season batting average wise anyway. But the power numbers are still there: 42 home runs, 102 RBI now. He just went over 100 RBI the other day, and I was able to get 2 more last night. So he had a sac fly in the home run. The home run was a solo home run. But now he's only 2 home runs behind the NL leader and the major league leader in home runs. So I think that'd be great for Pete to be like a nice, like there's no division, there's no playoffs to be hunting for. So I think it'd be great for the Mets, for their fan base, for the team's morale, for stuff like this to happen for them, if Pete's able to win a batting title, Francisco Lindor is able to win a Gold Glove or get that 30-30, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases, which I'll talk about in a couple minutes. If he's able to get stuff like that, if these guys are able to do stuff like that, it's a nice morale boost, like I said, for the fan base and also for the team as a whole. When their guys reach, I don't want to say milestones, but win things. It's kind of like, hey, you know what? We just had a bad season. We really don't suck. It's a bad season, and so it's nice to see. Right now he's sitting currently third. Matt Olson from the Jerk Off Braves has 44, and future Met Shohei Ohtani has 44 as well. So he's right there. He's absolutely he could do this. Tonight he could absolutely hit 2 home runs tonight against this Washington pitching. But unless he goes on to another cold streak, he still has the rest of the month to do it. OPS is sitting at 855. That's 17th in the big league. So that's really nice there. Second in RBI at 102. So the power numbers are there. The average is not. Got to get that back up next season. Which leads me to Francisco Lindor. And I was thinking about this before when I was looking at Francisco Lindor's numbers. He's played so well this season, minus the beginning, kind of where he kind of started off really, really slow batting average wise. And like I've mentioned on here so many different times about how I put too much stock earlier. Too much stock earlier in the batting average with Francisco Lindor early in the season. I had my buddy Nelson, the Amish Country Mets fan, kind of opened my eyes a little bit to how well Francisco Lindor is playing around the All-Star break was when it really came up, because I said that Francisco Lindor didn't deserve to be an All-Star because he was hitting, I don't know, at that time, like 216, 220 or something like that. He wasn't hitting, average-wise, all that well. But you look at all of his other numbers, the power numbers were there. The power numbers were good. He was knocking runs in, playing fantastic defense, OPS, all that good stuff, all there, at the tops of the leagues. It was just the batting average. Now, so far the rest of the season, if you look at every month, Francisco Lindor, every single month, his batting average has consistently got better and better and better. To whereas it's peaked so far in August, this past month of August, he had ended up with a 305 average, I think it was, through August, which is fantastic. And then I think it was July, he ended up hitting 270 something, and then before that in June, I think it was like 266 or so. So it's like each month it got better, got better, and I really think that if he didn't have that slow start, and if the Mets were actually a contender, they don't have to be winning the division. But if, huge ifs, if they would have been a contender this season, if the team would have played well, if he would have started off just a little bit better, I really do believe he'd be in the talks for MVP this year. That's how well Francisco Lindor has played. Now, if I were to go back and look at what my prediction was for Francisco Lindor, because if you remember, if you follow the show or not, I'm not sure. But if you watched, all the way back to February, I think I started in January, February, or March, where I broke down every position for the NL East. When I did the shortstops, I said Francisco Lindor was going to hit like close to 300, and he was going to have, I think I said between 25, 30 home runs. He was going to have over 100 RBI, and he was my dark horse MVP candidate. I mean, he's in line with all that except for the batting average. And like I said, by the end of the season, I could really see him, hitting probably close to 270, which is absolutely amazing from where he was earlier in the season. So I mean, you really got to give Francisco Lindor a ton of credit. Outstanding defense. Like they're talking about him, potentially having a really good shot at getting the Gold Glove this year. Last night on SNY. I mean, you could say that's a homer thing or whatever, but those guys are usually pretty straight up when it comes to stuff like that. They usually don't blow smoke up the skirt. So I really like the season that Francisco Lindor has had. Just early on, really bit him in the ass with the average part of it, but everything else is there. Is absolutely Right now he's hitting 250 with 26 dingers, 82 RBI, 796 OPS, 25 stolen base. Like I mentioned before, just missing that 30-30 club threshold. He should get it. I could see him getting a couple more home runs to get the 30 home runs and, 5 more stolen bases, just to get that 30-30. So, yeah. Like I said, in August, he hit 305 in August with an 818 OPS. Absolutely awesome. Excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and hit up a couple more comments here. Eileen says Shane Bieber was a stud for the Guardians. Has he been a stud this year? I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really followed him that much. I feel like he's pitched well this year, but I'm not. I could be way off. Lindor starting to hit better when his new daughter was born. Yeah, and that's something that Nelson, the Amish Country Mets fan, he talked about that back in July. He said, once his daughter was born, he was killing it. Now, after the All-Star break, he went a little bit cold. If you remember right, Zhang-Hu Lee, he did go a little bit cold, but snapped out of it right away. Which was has been awesome. I mean, like if you look at the Mets stats, individual stats, Nimmo started off like a bat out of hell, hitting well over 300, like 330 or something like that. Greatest move ever was re-signing Nimmo, blah, 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 blah. Now he's all the way down into the low 260s. He's been passed out by Jeff McNeil, I believe. I think he'll be passed out by Lindor as well. I mean, that's who Nimmo is, though. Nimmo's not a 300 hitter. He's a 260, 270 hitter that gets on base, through walks and stuff like that. So, even though Nimmo, I believe, does have over 20 home runs as well. I think he's 22, 23 now or something like that. I could be wrong with that. Zhang-Hu Lee saying the Mets are 25th in batting average. I believe it. I absolutely believe it. It's like, and it was mostly the first three months of the season, which are huge. April, May, June are huge months. But it's been so inconsistent where you have a game like last night, the Mets win 11-5, great hitting, lots of power, but then tomorrow they'll lose 1-0, 2-0, and then the next day they'll lose 3-1. I mean, that's how it's been all season with the Mets. They'll have a great game offensively, then the next 2 or 3 games, nothing. Not even a chirp. And then the next game or two they'll have like a mid-offensive game, but then the pitching will stink and they'll get blown out. So it's been like that all season. And it's really frustrating because you especially early in the season when the Mets still had a chance to make playoffs, you're like, oh, they're snapping out of it, but nothing. So Dave Yarnell says, I heard Diaz might come back before season ends. See, I don't know. I keep seeing reports on that. I mean, I don't know if I'd want that, but because it's so soon to tear what he tore, what was his patella tendon and stuff like that. I mean, it's such a major surgery, and I mean, kudos to him with his work ethic and stuff, and strengthening in the Mets, medical staff or rehab staff, whatever you want to call it, to get him back to where there's even a possibility of it. It's absolutely insane. But I don't know if I'd want to see that. I'd be so nervous that he get out there, get like 6 or 7 pitches into it and, plants funny or a ball's hit back at him. He go like plants to make a play on it, or he's running the first base to make a play, and all of a sudden it buckles or gives out. I'd hate to see something like that. And, to set him back. But you know what? It'd be amazing to see. Absolutely amazing to come back from that injury, which kind of like, was the Mets season in a nutshell there. You start off all excited, and then all of a sudden you're laying on the ground crying. So, excuse me. Let me get a sip of my iced tea here from my dugout mug. I got a couple more comments here. But I'd love to see Diaz, I can't wait to see Diaz again. I was listening to his walkout music, Narcos, the other day, and a tear rolled down my cheek. Sniffled. I miss Diaz from last year. Anyway, Bush 1G, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Thanks for checking into the show. Says, hi, what's up, G? What's up, G? How you doing? Thanks for checking out the show. Thanks for commenting. Any questions, shoot them out there. And there he is, Brother John. Fry Foundation in the house. The Athletics stink. The Mets stink too, but how you doing, buddy? Hopefully you're not working too hard. I guess I'm assuming you're on break. So what are your thoughts on the Oakland A's, John, moving to Las Vegas? Do you think they'll turn it around once they get to Las Vegas? I know you've seen this before. I think you've probably seen when I talked about this before. That the Oakland A's pulled the movie Major League on the city of Oakland there. Lose to get the hell out of there. And it worked. In the movie Major League, it didn't work, but here it worked. Because, if you look at the A's history over the last, 10, 15, 20 years, wherever you want to look at, they're not a bad team. They're usually a decent organization that's either in the playoff hunt or makes the playoffs. And, an occasional clunker here or there, but to have back-to-back seasons the way they had them seems kind of suspicious to me. Kind of like sold every piece off or whatever, and they just stink. But I believe they'll turn it around. It'll take a season or two, but they'll turn it around just in time to debut the new stadium in Las Vegas and get the fans' asses in the seats. 'Cause that's what's going to make the money back. Cowboy Dave saying, I still believe in Diaz. Didn't get injured, the Mets would not be fourth in the division. I don't know. So it's tough to say, really. Diaz was the closer. There was many times last season where he'd pitch 2 innings, and Ben will do a great job at it. But the bullpen was so bad this year. The offense was so up and down. The starting pitching was kind of up and down as well. Like, I just don't know that a closer is the reason why. Morale wise, maybe, you know what I mean? But I just can't. It's hard to say that the closer is the reason why the Mets are where they are right now, just because there's so many different pieces. Like, I would say I'd agree with you if they blew so many saves this season because Diaz wasn't there. But that's not the case. There's so many times that they got their asses beat that there was no chance to blow a save, that the bullpen was that bad. I mean, but when David Robertson was there, when there was a save opportunity that he was able to get, he did well with that. And Brooks Raleigh and at some points Adam Ottavino, but he's had a really off season this year. So it's hard to say that it's because of Diaz, but it really feels that way, to be honest, because like I said, that's kind of how the Mets season was. Kind of still celebrating from last season, like, hey, we had a good year. We kind of blew it at the end, but you know what? We spent all this money coming in, let's get back there, and this time we'll right the wrongs from last season, and then we blow our knee out. So it's, you hate, it's hard to say that, with the closer being the reason why, but yeah, it certainly feels that way. I don't know if it was like an emotional catalyst for the Mets or but it's I don't know, because he's out there in the bullpen hanging out. He's not like he's in the dugout or anything. I don't know. It's tough to say. Jung Hoo Lee says, Kenny, best jersey tone, Alvarez or Mauricio Mets jersey? All right. So I got a Howard Johnson jersey behind me, a Hojo jersey. I love jerseys. I don't have many jerseys. I don't have any authentic jerseys. They're very expensive. I do have, my wife did buy me a replica Pete Alonso jersey, which I was over the moon about. For my birthday, I was absolutely over the moon about it. I only bring it out on special occasions. It's in the closet hanging up. Like, you know what? I can't mess this jersey up. I don't want to get anything on it. I'm afraid I'm going to break a button. This Howard Johnson jersey is actually an Amazon. I don't want to say knockoff. It's not a knockoff, but it's a really cheap jersey. I think it cost me like $50. it's just, but if I had the money to buy an authentic jersey, a real authentic jersey, and my only two choices were Alvarez or Mauricio, I would probably go Alvarez. And the reason being is I like the catchers. I'm a catcher guy. I caught when I played baseball. And again, I'm just not like I was anything special. I wasn't. But, my daughter's a catcher. I love the catching position, all the thought that goes behind it, the toughness that goes into it. And so it'd probably be Alvarez for me. And I like his excitement. But you can't go wrong with either one of those. I think both of those guys are in the Mets' long-term plan. I really feel like I've said this so many different times on here. I don't know if anybody ever really listens to it, but I feel like Ronnie Mauricio is kind of he reminds me of Alfonso Soriano when he was coming up with the Yankees, just like a game changer, a game breaker. And I really feel that that's what Mauricio can be for the Mets next season. So I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those. But if you said between like between Beatty and Vientos, those ones I'd worry about. I said so many different times that I could see Vientos being traded, but the way Beatty has played, and it's kind of like I couldn't see the Mets trading Vientos and Beatty, but I think one of those guys could get traded. But I think Alvarez and Mauricio are in the Mets' long-term plan. So I think it'd be safe to get either one of those. But like I said, for me, it'd be Alvarez. I believe Mets starters going 4 innings really hurt the Mets. Absolutely. Absolutely. So many different times I've talked about it on here where our starters can't get past the 5th inning. Bullpen is overworked, overtaxed, and it wasn't a very good bullpen to begin with. I mean, you look at the guys that we picked up this season, not to go one by one, but every time I did talk about them, every time the Mets did pick one of these guys up, I'd read their stat line, career stats on or the season before stats on the show here. And it's kind of like a head scratcher. It's like, why in the hell they pick this guy up? There's so many different times. I'm just like, what the hell are they doing? Why this guy? Like, I get having a lot of arms for the bullpen is essential, but there was a lot of head scratchers this year. But our starting pitching did not help them out at all. I mean, it was really, really tough. And now you look at guys like like Senga and Quintana consistently going 6-7 innings. That's perfect. That's beautiful. So just a little bit too late, and it's really awesome that Senga got his walks under control. I mean, he still has I think 2 walks last outing. I think 3 walks to get the outing before, but a high strikeout content. 12 strikeouts, 10 strikeouts. So he's hit double digit quite a few times. Alvarez wears number 4, and the number 4 is bad luck in Asian countries. Well, I would not go with number 4. I'm not usually a superstitious guy, but like the whole numbers thing, I really feel like there's a thing to that. There's like a stigma to bad luck numbers, like the number 13 and stuff like that. For some people, number 7, like lucky 7, unlucky 13. Everybody says, "Oh, what's your lucky number?" and stuff like that. I do believe there's something to stuff like that. Like, but if number 4 is unlucky in Asian, well then don't do it. You don't need that hanging over your head. If you break a mirror, 7 years of bad luck. Just don't even crack the goddamn thing. Just stay away from the mirror. Stay away from the number 4. So moving on here, Ronnie Mauricio has played well since being called up. He's hitting every game he's played in so far. 4 games. I think he's, what is he? I have it written down here. 6 of 15 so far since being called up. He got his first RBI yesterday. I don't want to say he's been a lightning rod, but he's almost been like a breath of fresh air. Kind of like you kind of feel it's like when he was called up, everybody kind of it took a while, but we got Ronnie up, and so it's good to see. It was awesome to see last night. In the last night's lineup I put out there on the old Twitter box or X or whatever the hell you want to call it. Last night's lineup consisting of Nimmo in center, Lindor short, McNeil in right, Of course, Pete at first, Vientos at DH, Alvarez catching, Beatty at third, Mauricio at second, and you had Locastro out and left. The only one I would change out was Locastro. Maybe right now DJ Stewart, but if Marte was healthy, I'm not a huge Marte fan. He always seems kind of lackadaisical to me, so I'm not a big Marte fan, but he is better than Locastro. But DJ Stewart has pounded the ball well, strikes out a lot too. But for right now, for yesterday, I would have rather seen somebody else there besides Locastro. But I love that lineup. The top 8, love that lineup. Could be the lineup of our future. I don't think so. I think some of those guys are going to be gone. I don't know about McNeil. I've said on here before I could see McNeil being traded. But like I just talked about a couple minutes ago, like Beatty or Vientos, I feel like I could see one of those guys being traded. Like the more I said Vientos, I'm kind of leaning more towards Beatty now. The power hasn't been there yet. Seems like a good dude though. So I don't like saying it. If he was a douchebag or something, trade him. But so some of the stuff he said before he got sent down about not being able to focus was kind of surprising. But it is what it is. Thank him for being honest, but it's rough. It's not an easy sport. Every day playing, pitch after pitch after pitch, all those innings, struggling at the plate, kind of lose yourself in the field, because he really hasn't played a very good third base at all. And so then that's another place that Vientos can play. It's, you just never know. But I really do like that lineup. If you can get like a Acuna, I can't say it. Like I've talked about this before. I can say Ronald Acuna Jr. I can say it all day. Ronald Acuna Jr. But when it comes to the Acuna brother that we got, I can't say it. I just can't say it. Acuna. I struggle. I don't know what it is. So before I move on, I'm going to go ahead and do a sponsor read here. I hit it up here. Monkey Colt Coffee. Love me some Monkey Colt Coffee. I have a couple bags coming in the mail here very soon. I should be here any day now. And where did I get those bags of coffee? At monkeycoltcoffee.com, of course. And I also did use the promo code OOTB Sports for my 10% off. This time out, I got the Sumatran blend, the brand new flavor from Monkey Colt Coffee. I got the Sumatran blend, and I also got the toasted coconut. I love the toasted coconut. I know it says toasted almond there, but it's not toasted almond. It's toasted coconut. Even though toasted coconut rum, actually, it's toasted coconut rum. Toasted almond does sound pretty good. Toasted almond rum or something. That'd be awesome. But it's toasted coconut rum, which is my favorite. But also the chocolate chip, the bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee. Absolutely fantastic. I like that more as a cold brew than I do as a hot coffee. I can taste the chocolate chip a little bit more. I feel like as a cold brew. But anyway, you get those 3 flavors. The Sumatran blend comes ground in ground coffee, or you can get a whole bean. So for you beaners out there, go ahead and check out the Sumatran blend and get that in whole bean and grind your own coffee. You can also get coffee mugs on monkeycoltcoffee.com. Tumblers. I have the coffee mug here with me to show off. The tumbler is actually in my wife's car. I got to get it out of there and get it washed. T-shirts. They don't have fat guy sizes yet, so that's why I don't have a T-shirt, because I'd love one of those sweet-ass T-shirts with Roderick on there, their mascot. Just a monkey in a hoodie, drinking a cup of coffee. Why not, right? They also have the cold brew pitcher, which I do have. And the K-Cup adapter. They also have a rum cake, which is very, very good. I've tried all that. And remember, for every bag of coffee purchased, the owner of Monkey Colt Coffee, Matt, donates a portion of the proceeds to the National Pediatric Cancer Society. So buy your coffee, buy it in bulk if you have to. help the kids out at monkeycoltcoffee.com. And make sure you use that promo code OOTB Sports. Tell them the Bat Fry sent you. And after your coffee, after you run amok with your coffee, go ahead and give Jason Fine a call at J Fine Law, attorney Big Al. You can reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. J Fine Law specializes in motor vehicle accidents. That's hard to say. I don't know. Motor vehicle accidents, slip and falls, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. They have 3 convenient office locations throughout Pennsylvania and the Garden State of New Jersey. The office in New Jersey is located at Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 3 Greensward Lane, and the phone number there is 856-209-5258. And the offices in Pennsylvania, starting with the Steel City of Pittsburgh. And the office is located at 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900, and the phone number there is 412-365-8151. And then in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, the office is located at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. The phone number there is 267-888-2980. Tell them the Bat Cave sent you. And last but not least, we have our newest sponsor, the Dugout Mugs. Go to dugoutmugs.com. Use that promo code OOTB Sports 20 for 20% off your Dugout Mug purchase. And I've shown my Dugout Mugs on here so many different times. Love the Dugout Mugs. I think they kick butt. Couple of them I don't have yet. I plan on adding my collection as soon as my bank account rises a little bit. I don't want to spend what you don't want to spend what you don't have. So the next Out of the Box show that's going to be coming new to the Out of the Box Sports Entertainment is financial advice from the Bat Fry. So that's not one you're going to want to watch anyway. So they have the regular Dugout Mugs with all the Major League Baseball teams. They also have some minor league teams. I think they're working on college as well. They have aluminum bat mugs, which I've shown on the show so far today. They have shortstop mugs, which are a little bit shorter than your typical dugout mug. They have one shaped like a wine glass or a goblet. They have coasters with your teams on it. They also have baseballs cut in half to use as bottle openers. You can get the dugout mugs specialized or personalized with a logo or something like a wedding date, stuff like that. So they make great gifts. So get your dugout mug at dugoutmugs.com. And remember, use that promo code. Use it. Use the damn promo code. OOTB Sports 20. That's OOTB Sports 20 at checkout. And make sure to tell them the Bat Fry sent you. So here's my aluminum bat mug. Like I said, I love the aluminum bat mug. There's the other side of it. It says New York Mets on it. I'm like a home shopping network here. Here's my Monkey Colt Coffee mug. And it says, join the, you know what? I ain't going to say it. I don't want to get in trouble with the FCC, the Facebook police. You can't say the word. You can show it. I can say Monkey Colt Coffee, but I can't say join the CULT. I ain't saying it. You're not going to get me to say it. I won't do it. All right. So moving on. Like I said about Ronnie Mauricio, great job, Ronnie Mauricio, since he's been called up, playing fantastic. Kodai Senga, last couple outings, so far this season, he's 10-7, 3.08 ERA. Creeping, inching very, very slowly to getting under 3, which is fantastic. 176 strikeouts, getting closer to that 200 strikeout plateau. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Again, all these milestone type things, great for the Mets. It's been a crappy season, but seeing this stuff accomplished is great for them as a team. So last time out against Seattle, the Mets won 2-1. He won 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, or is that, I can't see it. 5 hits, 1 earned run, 12 Ks, 2 walks. Great job. Then the game before against the Angels, they were able to take 2 out of 3 against the Seattle Mariners, which is, as hot as Seattle was coming in, the Mets really cooled them off. Against the Angels, when he pitched before that, they lost 3-1, 6 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 10 strikeouts. Another really really good outing for Kodai Senga. Hopefully we can get Yoshinobu Yamamoto in here. From everything I've been reading, he's a great pitcher. So hopefully the Mets go hard after him. I think it said he was 27. I think I read. Jose Quintana has pitched outstanding all season. He has had one clunker that's against the Braves, and the Braves are so good that he kind of let it go. He's like, you know what? It is what it is. So he pitched last night. The Mets won 11-5. He won 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run. And again, like I said, that earned run, first inning, the rest of the way, nothing. And the outing before that, it was a 2-1 loss. He won I don't know. I don't have it written down. I'm sorry. I think he went 6 innings. Yeah, he went 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs. Again, great job for by Jose Quintana, who's been such a surprise. It really it's a bummer that we didn't have him earlier in the season to kind of help stop the bleeding. Because Scherzer, there was moments this year where Scherzer did pitch really well. It was just a big games he didn't pitch well. Verlander was kind of back and forth, but his last couple starts with the Mets, I believe, were really good starts. So for the most part, Verlander did pretty well with the Mets. And Kodai Senga, after kind of getting used to the whole Major League Baseball landscape, the balls are different, different size, different weight, whatever, different grip, all different stuff that comes with it. Finally he got into the routine. So it would have been nice that we could have had 4 starters, pitching really well, but as it were, we could never really get those guys together to consistently pitch well. It was what I'm trying to say. I don't know, kind of stuttering through it now. Hit a couple of comments here. Cowboy Dave said the Bats Fry Home Shopping Network. That's what we should do next. The hell with I'm scrapping the financial advice show that I was just talking about. We're going to be doing the Bat Fry Home Shopping Network. I'll throw the old Batman mask on here. I got the old Batman mask. I'll throw that on, and I'll do a whole show wearing my mask. Selling crap. Selling whatever I got here around the house. I got all sorts of stuff. I'll be like, hey, how about a popcorn tin? It's empty. $9.99. 3 installments of $3.33. Yeah, there we go. Excuse me. Yeah. There we go. Eileen says, is Quintana on a 1-year deal or 2? I believe the Mets have him next year as well. I believe it's a 2 or 3 years. They do have him next year. Let me look it up real quick. I know it's definitely 2 years, but for some reason I feel like it's a third. Jose contract. There we go. See, that's how it's done. Yeah, it's 2 years. 2 years, $26 million with the Mets. An annual salary of 13. Yeah. So yeah, they have him again next year, which is great. They shouldn't explore releasing or doing any or trading him at all. Keep him. He was the biggest question mark I had coming in on the pitching staff. I didn't know what to expect from him because if you look at his career, there was nothing that really stood out. He had an okay season last year with St. Louis, and then St. Louis is a really good team last year. They really were, and so it's like what does that mean? Does that mean he's a good pitcher, and or does it just mean that he's been blessed to be on a really good team? So he was my biggest question mark, and he's really he's done a hell of a job since coming off the injured list, and it's just a bummer that he wasn't able to start the season on time. To see kind of where he was able to go with this, it's really impressive because he's I think like 37 years old, so he's up there in age. So who knows how many years he has left in him. So that's all I really have on the Mets. I'm going to get to my power rankings here in a minute. So real quick off the subject of baseball here. I don't know how many people are left watching this, but got a quick question for you. So for those of you that's seen the Justice League, I'm a Batman fan. This is the Bat Cave, as you can see. Excuse me. The movie The Justice League. So they re-released the Justice League as Zack Snyder, the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League, which was the original vision of the Justice League by Zack Snyder before he took a leave of absence. And I don't know if he was fired or quit. I think he stepped away from it. And then it was basically redone by who the hell came in and did it? Was it Joss Whedon? I don't know who it was. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it was. But so if you ever watch the Zack Snyder, the Snyder cut of the Justice League, which is fantastic, blows the other Justice League out of the water. Absolutely, it's 4 hours of beauty. I believe. I think it's a fantastic movie. Agree with me or not? But anyway, I'm stretching this out here. But so the one part of the movie I was kind of giggling because I was just watching it before I started the show. I threw it on the TV there, and I was watching it on my the Max app. And so the one part near the beginning of the movie, after Superman, I don't know if everybody, I don't want to spoiler alert. There you go. After Superman was killed at the end of Batman Superman, that's how the movie, The Justice League, starts. Zack Snyder's Justice League is Superman being killed, letting out a sonic scream, wakes up the mother boxes. So it goes to Themyscira, which is where the Wonder Woman is from, and the Amazons. And so it goes, to that. Goes to this like this vault type building, and it goes inside the building, and there's the one mother box that the Amazons are protecting, and inside, there's all these Amazon warriors surrounding it, watching it, kind of guarding it, waiting for it to wake up, in case something does happen with it, does wake up. And so my thought was, it was thousands of years. Between when the mother boxes were captured by I don't want to say humans because they're not all humans, by the Amazons, by the Atlanteans, and by humans, and they separated them and stuff like that. So the Amazons have been protecting their box for I think it's thousands or hundreds of years, whatever it is. It's a long time. So I have to wonder. You have to assume that they're always switching the guards out. Like it's just like a regular job. Punch the clock, the next shift comes in, whatever. How boring do you think that has to be? Like every day you come in, it's like, oh, I got to do this again. You walk in there, you stand there on guard for so many hours. I don't know if they run a 12-hour shift, an 8-hour shift, 4 10s. I don't know what they're doing. But I assume they do it in shifts. Like that has to be a long-ass shift sitting there just waiting for that box to kind of, do something or hoping it doesn't do anything. You're kind of standing there after doing this for so many years. You're standing there with your little spear, your little bow and arrow in your hand, and all of a sudden the thing starts shaking and, cracks and, light shoots out of it. You're like, what the hell? Then you got to go on guard. Now, you haven't been stretched. You haven't been warming up for it or nothing like that. You knew it could happen one day, but you're like, after doing that for 20 years, like there ain't no way this thing's going to wake up while I'm alive. Hundreds of years yet before that thing wakes up or before something happens. You're just not ready for it. I mean, then they have to battle the parademons and Steppenwolf. But anyway, I just thought that'd be kind of a sucky ass job if I was one of those Amazon guards that had to watch that stupid ass mother box for so many years. I was like, I ain't gonna do nothing. Then finally one day it does do something, like, oh shit, I haven't stretched. I haven't, I didn't have a Powerade or nothing today or a protein bar or nothing, to get me through this. But anyway, that's just a thought I had. I wanted to get that out there in the back cave and see what you guys thought, if that'd be a sucky ass job or not, or if you even seen the movie or not. If you haven't, I recommend it. It's 4 hours long, but it's worth it. Anyway, my power rankings, the back cave power rankings. Oh yeah, I snorted. Hang on. So the back cave power rankings, we had a couple little changes. It's getting harder and harder to do. Like I said earlier in the show, I don't watch all these teams play. I got it kind of go by feel, by how they've been doing last 10, where they're at in the standings. And I listen to a lot of sports radio, so I do hear about the teams, how well they're playing or how shitty they're playing, stuff like that. So kind of go off of that. So I'll start at number 10. Number 10, I had the Twins. Now, last week I had the Twins in a tie for number 10. Who I don't remember who I had them in tie with. It doesn't matter. They're there by themselves now. So they're sitting at 73 and 66, 6-4 in their last 10. They don't move up anywhere, but now they have sole possession of number 10. So I'm sure they're really excited about that. At number 9, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, and I understand, but I just have a hard time putting them higher right now. I feel like they're a good team. I do feel like they could make some noise. But number 9, I have Philly. So Philly sitting at 76 and 62, 6-4 in their last 10. They were 7 last time. So they dropped a couple spots. So I'm going to get killed for that, but I understand. I keep looking at it I don't know. I just don't feel it this year. I felt it last year. Last year I was saying, over and over and again for months, I was screaming it from the hills that the Phillies will be the most dangerous team in the playoffs if they can make it there. And they made it there, and they made it all the way to the World Series. Number 8, I have the Toronto Blue Jays. Sitting at 77 and 62, 7-3 in their last 10. They're really starting to heat up. Sitting one game out, I believe, of the final wild card spot there in the American League. So right now they're on the outside looking in, but the way that the Rangers are playing, Toronto could easily creep in there. They were ranked 7th last time. Number 7, I have Seattle at 77 and 61. And there's another team. They had Seattle, they're lumped in with the Rangers there. Seattle was playing really, really well. And so that's how they actually got to this, to be in the playoff spot. But they're barely ahead of Toronto. So it's going to be a great stretch run for all those teams. A lot of fun to watch. So Seattle's 5-5 in their last 10, lost 3 in a row. They were at 5th last time, so they dropped a couple spots. And that's where I was kind of struggling. Do I drop Seattle even further? But I'm no, they were playing so well. They can get it back again. So I kind of left it alone. I just dropped them a couple spots. The biggest jump of the week is coming up here. Not this pick, but the one after. Number 6, I have the Milwaukee Brewers sitting at 77 and 61, 6-4 in their last 10, sitting at the top of the NL Central, playing some decent ball. And here it is, the number 5 team. They weren't even ranked last time. The Houston Astros, 79 and 61, 7-3 of their last 10. Not even ranked. Jumped all the way to number 5. Earlier in the season, I had them near the top of the power rankings when I was doing them every other week. Then eventually I dropped them down as they weren't playing all that well. Now they're starting to get really hot again, just absolutely spanking the Rangers in an important series. I believe today we have Scherzer and Verlander going today, so that should be a lot of fun to watch. Number 4, I have the Dodgers sitting at 84 and 53, 5-5 in their last 10. Now the week before they were at number 3, so they dropped one spot, and that means up one spot are the Tampa Bay Rays sitting at 84 and 55, 6-4 in their last 10. And so, like I said, they're up one spot. I just flip-flopped those two teams. I feel a little bit more I feel better about the Rays. I feel like the Rays are playing a little bit better now. Number 2, I have the Orioles sitting at 87-51, 7-3 in their last 10, won 4 in a row. They didn't move. They were number 2 last week. And number 1 is still the Atlanta Braves at 90-47, 7-3 in their last 10. They lost 2 in a row. So, next week's power rankings might be a little bit different if things keep going this way where the Orioles are winning, Braves are losing. So I'm sure I'm going to get a little bit of hate here. Let me check out the comments. We got 2. Eileen, this is why I like your show. I learn new things every time. I'm here to entertain, really. That's I'm not saying anything really relevant about the Mets. I'm not, a lot of it's just opinion based or stuff that I feel anyway. But if I can throw little tidbits in there, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I don't know if you're a Batman fan at all, but if you're not, that's definitely a movie to check out if you want to, let me watch a Batman movie and you have 4 hours to kill. So my original plan when they first released that, not to get off of it again, when they first released the Snyder cut of the Justice League, I knew it was 4 hours long. I was super excited for it. And I'm like, you know what? It's 4 hours. I'm going to have to watch an hour here, an hour here, an hour. So I started watching. I think it was like 10 o'clock at night. And 4 hours later, 4 hours and 2 minutes later, there I was. I'm like, that was awesome. I couldn't stop watching. I had to continue watching it. I thought it was awesome. Much better than the original Justice League that was released. And it's the same thing with the Batman versus Superman. I don't know if, for those watching still have ever seen Batman versus Superman. The theatrical version of Batman versus Superman is doesn't make any sense to me. I've seen it. It's very hard to follow, but the Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition has a lot more stuff to it. So it's a bit longer, but it makes more sense then. It's a better movie, the Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition, than the Batman vs Superman theatrical version or whatever it's called that they released in the movie theaters. It's just like that one didn't make any sense, but the Ultimate Edition was much, much better. So Adam Glenn 86 and forever. I know, Adam. I'm sorry. I really struggled with it. I'm like, I feel like Philly is playing better, but I'm like, I had a hard time, justifying them above Toronto, above Seattle. I mean, like Seattle, I'm like, I can see Philly above Seattle. I feel like Seattle's just hit a hot streak. I feel like Seattle's going to come back. I feel like Seattle's not going to make the playoffs. So, but I'm like, just like right now this week, I mean, the Phillies suck. That the heck with it. I'm not gonna make excuses for it, Adam. PU Phillies. There, I said it. Jung Hoo Lee says, did you know Pete Alonso is only 2 home runs behind the home run leader? Otani is hurt with abdominal muscle strain, and Olsen only hit 1 home run in 15 games. Yeah, I talked about it a little bit earlier. And I said, I feel like this is important for the team. Alonso getting the home run crown, or at least, chasing the home run lead. And Francisco Lindor going for the 30 for 30 club, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. Kodai Senga, going for 200 strikeouts. I feel like that's important for the team. I said earlier, because it gives them something to strive for, goals to pull for, something like something positive to happen in such a negative season. I think that'd be good for the team to kind of end the season on. And I did mention that I didn't know Otani was hurt. Actually, I didn't know he was. I mean, I knew he had the whole UCL thing, but I didn't know he had an abdominal issue. But I do know Olsen was kind of, because Olsen seemed like he was going to take off with it. He's kind of come back to the pack a little bit, but Pete can get just as hot as anybody with the home runs, and he can knock 8-9 out in a 15-20 game span. So he's and that's about what we have left. So so it's going to be a lot of fun watching that home run race, going down to the wire. So it'd be nice for Pete Alonso kind of pass that jerk off brave Matt Olson. Adam Glenn says, "You suck, fey ass." I don't know what fey ass is, so I'm not gonna speculate as to what fey ass means. He means fat ass. That's what he's calling me, a fat ass. Adam, I'm telling you, I'm gonna see you at one of these soccer games, buddy. And it's a deep fryer for you. There he is. If guys weren't able to check in the beginning of my show, I gave a shout out to Paul, who's healing up from some issues here. I didn't really go into it too much because I didn't want HIPAA coming after me. HIPAA. No, I don't want to say anything incorrect. Like Paul's in getting a sex change operation. I didn't want to say nothing like that, even though I just did. Paul says, "Good morning, Ken. All looks good to come home today. That's awesome. Just finished brain MRI, just waiting on results from neurosurgeon." Now, Paul, I hope you told the neurosurgeon to check out of the Box Sports Network on Facebook, YouTube, X, not Twitter no more. It's X and Twitch. We're also on Instagram and TikTok. Hopefully he told him that, and hopefully he sold him on some Monkey Colt coffee, some Dugout mugs, and maybe even J. Fine Law. So that's great news, Paul. Like I said, easy. Ease yourself back into everything and stop using your head as a hammer, and you'll be all good. Get well soon, bud. Adam Glenn said Monday. Oh, Adam Glenn. I'm telling. Oh, you know what? Monday. I don't know about. No, I'll be there Monday. Yeah, I'll be there Monday. Adam Glenn, your name is going to be right here, Adam Glenn. Cowboy Dave says, looks like Mr. Fuji's coming home. Yeah. That's great news. It really is. You don't want to see anybody, especially a friend, down, for being sick or injured or anything, anything medical. So, there we go. All right, so that's all I really have. That makes a little bit more sense, Adam. I'm like, you said fun. I'm like, okay, fun. All right, now run. This fat ass ain't running anywhere, Adam Glenn. So that's all I have. Paul says, thank you, brother. I gotta get home 2 shows tonight. Ease back into it. The Cowboys can wait. College football can wait. I'll be checking you out tonight, buddy. I'll be checking those shows out and applauding you. It's not easy, going through surgery or anything like that, or a procedure, and being yourself afterwards. So if you're able to get on tonight, I'll be checking it out and supporting you. So let me run through the show schedule here, because as Paul said, he's on tonight. So let me 2 shows tonight. So let me go ahead and go through it and tell you what Paul's going to be on. So Mondays, for all you gamers out there, I don't know if our boy Jung-Hoo Lee is a gamer or not. But Mondays, 4:30 p.m., Joystick Junkies. Check that out, 6 p.m. The Sully Squad talking all Philly sports, and they dabble into all the sports, throughout the country. So not just Philly, but a little bit of everything, but mostly Philly. 8:30 p.m., the Big Blue Power Hour talking New York Giants football. It's football season this week. Tomorrow night, baby, starts football. Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m., Commanders Gridiron. Join Steve as he talks about the Washington Commanders football team, or whatever the hell they're going to be called in the future. 8:30 p.m., join Cowboy Dave and Sully. Joe Sullivan on Extra Innings talking all Major League Baseball. And, of course, Wednesdays, 10 a.m., the shit show that is the Bat Cave. That is me, and that is what you're watching right now. 7 p.m., Fuji's Philly Flair. Not talking just Philly sports, but also talking anything Philly, nightlife or the goings on of Philly and stuff like that. He's had a bunch of different types of guests on there. So make sure you check out Fuji's Philly Flair. Fuji's like the mayor of Philadelphia there. 8 p.m., the College Football Frenzy. That's one of the shows that Paul will be on. Paul and Bill Furman, check that out tonight for all you college football fans. College, the first week, college football breaks up a good bit, but the first week of college football in the books after last week. So, exciting stuff. 9:30 p.m., Dem 215 boys talking Dallas Cowboys football. Paul, Cowboy Dave, and the TOP, the Tower of Patience, Matt Klein. That's tonight at 9:30. Thursdays, 7 p.m., the NFC East War Room. It's pretty much self-explanatory. You have the Eagles, Redskins, the Commanders, Giants, and Cowboys just, doing battle there on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Fridays at 10:30 p.m., myself and Cowboy Dave with an occasional pop-in from Mr. Fuji, Paul, The Atomic Drop Podcast, talking WWE sports or WWE wrestling. I'm struggling here. My throat is drying up real quick here, and I'm really struggling through it. Saturdays, 11 a.m., the Golden Dome. That's talking Notre Dame football. Occasionally doing a post-game there, pregame, post-game. Sundays, 11:30 a.m., Dallas Cowboys pregame. There may also be some an Eagles pregame or Washington Commanders pregame or New York Giants pregame. I might occasionally even do a Raiders pregame. It depends on what time the Raiders are on, what I got going on. Lots of sports. You know, it's always I'm always on the move here. And coming very soon, this Saturday to be exact. Just trying to hammer out time. But this Saturday, the newest show, I've taken the Las Vegas sports scene. I've laid it down in bed, and I've slowly put the pillow over its face. So the Las Vegas sports scene is no more. It's going to be a Raiders and Kings show called the Silver and Black Lair. Silver and Black Lair. So let me go ahead and pop that poster up here for you, right there. So that's like the gist of it there. That's what kind of what it's going to look like. I'm going to be talking Raiders football, of course, and LA Kings hockey. If for all you Batarangs that have been following the show for a while, I used to do a little bit of LA Kings talk, especially during the season. After I was done talking about the Mets, I'd talk a little, like 10 minutes about the Kings because I really enjoy watching hockey. I'm a LA Kings fan, but I don't quite know a whole lot about hockey, so I'm getting better at it. So you'd have to figure the Silver and Black Lair. It's probably going to be 70% Raiders, 30% Kings. But as I get better talking about hockey and understanding a little bit more, it's going to be a nice 50-50, 60-40 split. So super excited to get that going this Saturday. I'll let you know what time as soon as I get it hammered out here. And it's probably I'm probably shooting for like 9 p.m. because I don't want to go too late because I do enjoy watching late night college football as well. So it's kind of like, I don't want to go too early either because, there's times where I'm out and about with the family. So we'll figure it out. So that's this Saturday. So that's all I got for today. Check out, see if there's any more comments here. Yeah, we got a couple comments here. We got Paul Spencer saying, I have some great videos for Atomic Drop. The plan was not able to execute, but we were so close to the ring. I was right. Oh, okay. So the so for those of you that don't know, Paul and Cowboy Dave were actually able to go to the latest pay-per-view from by WWE called Payback. It was this past Saturday in Pittsburgh, and the original plan was for Paul, Mr. Fuji, and Cowboy Dave to pretend kidnap, I think, Liv Morgan and take her back to the old to the dojo, I guess. Yeah, Mr. Fuji's dojo. And but Liv was not there, so poor Paul had to just sit there and accept it that there was no Liv, no Io Sky, no Asuka, but he got Nakamura. So yeah, that's as close to Japan as you're ever going to get again, buddy. I'm sorry to say that for you. Adam Glenn says, I don't think I can watch the college show Blue Mountain at Pottsville. Go Blue. What is that? Is that soccer tonight, right? Blue Mountain versus Pottsville. Yeah, go Blue Mountain. You know what? That's hard for me to say because I graduated from Pottsville. I still bleed red. The Pottsville Crimson Tide. I still bleed red. But my kids are in Blue Mountain School District, so I kind of, there are our rivals. I was brought up to hate Blue Mountain, and now I'm in Blue Mountain territory, and slowly I'm turning to a blue blood, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for checking the show out and listening to my nonsensical ramblings about the Mets. Batman, Blue Mountain versus Pottsville. Not that anybody cares, but I appreciate you guys hanging around, checking it out, commenting. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch. And like I said, we're also on Instagram and TikTok. So check all that stuff out. And I got one more comment here. That's why I linger, because I don't want to miss any comments. Anybody that puts one out there, I want to make sure to get them out. And especially ones that are patting me on the back. So it says, great show, big man. Yeah! LA Knight able to get that win there on Saturday night. Good for him. We'll talk about more of that. We'll talk more about that on the Atomic Drop podcast this Friday night at 10:30 p.m. All right, so thanks for checking it out. Be sure to check out the Bat Cave again next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Same bat time, same bat channel. Let's go Mets.